As 2020 comes to a close, this is the last news we want to hear. A Colorado man testing positive for a new strain of coronavirus known for its ties to the UK. The latest plus a live discussion beginning now on WFLA Now. Hey there, folks. JB Buno with you live in the Stream Center. And we want to let you know you can read this story in its entirety from the Associated Press. We have it for you in the link here on Facebook Live, or if you're joining us here on the WFLA app, WFLA.com, you can just scroll down and read more below. A new coronavirus strain, the COVID-19 variant B117, is the subject of a positive test in Colorado. An adult man in his 20s testing positive for B117. The CDC has been notified. First thing I want to make perfectly clear is that the vaccine should be effective against this new strain of coronavirus. And if you have been following, of course, the pandemic very, very closely, you know that variants in the virus is, of course, something that we've talked about before on stream here with epidemiologists, that mutations and variants of the virus itself are to be expected. However, we now have a positive test of the variant B117 that was first discovered in the United Kingdom over there across the pond in the UK. And now this Colorado man, who, of course, not being identified, has tested positive. He is in isolation in Colorado, in Elbert County. And interestingly enough, he has zero travel history, no travel history. I'm going to read here this quote from Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, Jill Hunsaker-Orion. The fact that Colorado has detected this variant first in the nation is a testament to the sophistication of Colorado's response and the talents of the department's scientists and lab operations. We are currently using all the tools available to protect public health and mitigate the spread of the variant. Again, the individual recovering in isolation here, as I just read from some of my notes, the individual has no close contacts identified so far. Public health officials are working to identify other potential cases and contacts through thorough contact tracing interviews. The Colorado State Lab, the first in the country to quickly identify the variant through sophisticated analysis of testing samples. This is the part here that is of particular interest about what makes this variant a little bit different. The lab initially performed a PCR test, one of the more common forms of a coronavirus test, and found that the sample was positive for the N gene and the ORF1ab gene. Both of those are detected when a person has COVID-19, but there was the signal for the S gene that was not detected. The S gene is normal for a COVID-19 test, but the absence of it was what raised eyebrows in Colorado. When the S gene does not register in testing, it is called the S dropout profile, and it is considered an essential variant signature for this variant that has been discovered in the UK, again, the B117 variant. Again, going back to the most important part of this is that the coronavirus vaccine should be effective against this variant. So while this variant is said to be more contagious and perhaps less deadly than the COVID-19 strain that has wreaked havoc here in the United States and around the world, it is worth noting that the currently approved vaccines, the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, these vaccines should be effective against this variant here.